Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson Media, and I'm joined with two of my brothers. And we just want to do a recap of the Monday, Tuesday, and today we have Wednesday of what happened during the political arena. And there's so much that has really happened. And before we go into the main discussion, let me take this opportunity to give me Guda and Makobura to say hi to our viewers. Makobura.
Hello everyone, this is Brother Benson Media, and we are privileged to have this humble evening to have a discussion on the political happenings which just happened over the week, and all these things which have been happening within the government. We are seeing the cabinet secretaries, especially those experts from ODM, having their own say. Yeah, so those and many more are the things that we want to have a look at this evening. And we are taking this opportunity to welcome all our viewers and let them feel at home.
Thank you so much, Makobura, for that. Miguda, your time.
Greetings to all our viewers, Brother Benson, Mark Obura. Happy to see you this evening in East African time. To our viewers, kindly welcome to Brother Benson Media. Here we say your opinion count. Here you can give out your opinion irrespective of who you are. Karibuni sana, and we expect to engage further.
Thank you so much, my brothers, for that. And it is a week of so many things. First, there's a week of wale wanaopiga kelele, wengine wao wajafika airport. That is according to the president. That is one. Kuna pia ile pepo ya upingamizi, hiyo pia president alitoa. So na hii ilitokana wakati alikuwa na ziara pale sehemu ya Mombasa, tuseme in the coastal region. He was launching some projects there, and as you know, when he was launching the projects, as a politician, there's some of the words that he has to say that some of them did not go well with the Kenyans. And even if you go to the internet right now, some Kenyans are trying to mock the issue of to go to airport. People would go there, take a picture, and somebody would say, "I'm at the airport." So that is there. Another thing also that took us as a news, we might say as a news, yesterday when Senator for Muranga went to the DCI at Nyeri, where he was summoned to go and share the information about what happened in Limuru. Immediately they were through with the DCI. They had a rally, a small rally there, I would call it. But when the police or the law enforcement officers, I don't know, they were coming to disrupt the meeting, the good people of Nyeri decided to repel the police, the law enforcement, and they had to leave and leave the legislators who accompanied the senator for Muranga, senator for Kiambu to address the rally. So that is also something that took place. But now, there are two things that we need to discuss today that are very important because in 2 weeks' time, we've seen the Anglican Church have given their say and told the Bishop of Bungoma, where the president gave like around 5 million pesa taslim, and Olesepit say that that money should be returned. And it's not the first time. The Catholic Church also, a few weeks ago, rejected that money. So what is happening? Is church rebelling against the president? As you know, when president was coming into power, one of the areas actually that president utilized was the church. And the government of the day, today, the Kenya Kwanza, was viewed as a church given. It was a government that was formed, si uchawi ni maombi. In other words, it was a government of prayers. And now we are seeing the churches are rebelling to an extent where the Ncck 2 days ago accused the president of lying to Kenyans. And that is serious. And that is, it's, that is there. Another thing that also we need to talk about is the experts. Why is ODM, the experts, let me call them experts, are now the ones defending the government? What has really changed? Yeah. Because it seems like even now, the experts even are more powerful than Kimani Ichung'wah. And if you're very keen enough, you'd notice that the people who are now defending the government more than even the people who formed it are the people from the ODM side. That is something that is there. I remember there was a day, few days ago, the Homa Bay member of parliament, I think is Homa Bay Town, Honorable Peter Pio Kaluma, said something that in this country, Republic of Kenya, there's no opposition. So everybody's in government. But I was surprised with what the honorable member for Suna East, Junet Mohammed, say that yeye ndio opposition leader, au wengine are fake. So where are we? Let me start with you, Miguda. I mean, Makobura. What is your take on the religious now rejecting the donation that is being given by the president to an extent of the NCCK accusing the president of lying to Kenyans?
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Ben. First, let me acknowledge the presence of Brenda Obedi at the comment section and the presence of Patrick Chepkwon. Patrick is a good friend of mine. Patrick, huku ndo tuko tunapambana na hali huku. Hata wewe unaweza kuja ukatujoin pia, upe maoni yako, ndiposa pia usikizwe na Wakenya. I can also see Judith Karwitha the comment section. Judith, feel at home. Thank you very much for joining. Yeah, so on the question that you've just asked, I think it is a good thing that the church is saying no to corruption. The church is saying no to money that according to them hawajui imetoka wapi. So that's a good move, and it is a good reminder to the political class that, you know what, we are no longer going to encourage theft. We are no longer going to accept any money or proceeds of money which we don't know where, it's coming from. It was the first church to think to show the way was Catholic Church. That is a kudos to them, because at least they're trying to bring back the sanity within the religious groups. And the president, not just the president, the politicians have always used the altar to spread, to play politics, to spread hatred. They always use the altar to, try to, spread whatever they have. And to me, and to what Christianity dictates, it is not a good thing to play politics on the altar of God. It is not a good thing to speak ill about others or competitors on the altar. It is not a good thing, to accuse others, especially when you're on the altar. That is what the political class have used. And again, it is a good thing. It is a good thing that they've started rebelling. And, this government came in power through the support of the religious groups. And, the closeness that they had with the religious group somehow convinced the people of Kenya that this was the best government, and it is the government that was going to sort the problems that we are facing as a country. But it is so unfortunate that, since this government took charge, they somehow forgot even the religious groups. They forgot that there are promises that they made on the altar of the Lord, and that, the religious groups are simply trying to remind them that, you know what, while you came to our church, on the altar of the Lord, you promise that you're going to do this. You promise that hii serikali inaenda kukwea mama mboga, watu wa mkokoteni na wale watu wadogo. But what you are doing is not a replica of what you promised.
Yeah.
So the religious group, to me, I believe they're doing what is right by reminding the government and the people in power that they have to fulfill the promises that they gave the people. But again, they are revolt to taking these amounts of money. These are huge amounts of money. You know, it doesn't really make sense that a president would go to a church and give them 5 million, 10 million, and you're finding that they are unable, they cannot pay teachers, they cannot pay doctors. People are dying on the hospitals just because doctors were striking. People are dying. There are no medicals, there are no drugs, medicines in the hospital. And the president is walking in churches giving handouts. It is not a proper thing. So the church is simply showing us the way, and it is a good thing. That money is a lot of money. Instead of giving the church 5 million, that money should be channeled to, building some CBC classes. There's so many schools which were actually, a list of schools which are supposed to be closed because they have not met the standards by the government. Why can the president use that money to try expand these schools so that come January, these students who are going to this school will find a place, to continue with their learning, you see? So it is a painful thing that without, with the president or the people in power just, throwing money anyhowly, and at the same time they're coming out to tell the people of Kenya that we don't have money, that the coffers are dry, that the government cannot, we fail to understand. And this is what makes me support what the stance of the religious groups have taken.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, my question to you, because this is not the first time that the president has been giving money. Yeah, we can remember very well that during the campaign, if to say president gave a lot of money, but none of the religious leaders really complained about the president money. But why now?
Okay, while he was campaigning, this is my thought. They took the money. I can't really judge them that it was wrong to take it at that point.
Yeah.
But politicians, they use money to bribe people, especially when they are going for elections. And so he really used a lot of money to convince and to get to the, to the pulpits. And, he promised so many things. But you know what? The same way the people of Kenya voted for William Samoei Ruto as the president, majority of them, since he started ruling, are now convinced that he is not truthful. He cannot fulfill the promises that he had given to the people of Kenya. And that is why, if you can remember, there were a lot of youths who are really supporting the president. Remember, these are the same youths who went to demonstrate. So along the way, the people have gotten to learn that it is not fair for them to continue supporting a government that is not supportive to them, a government that do not care, a government that is coming to them promising and not delivering. And that is why a group of the religious leaders have come back to their senses and they have seen the light. And they're now saying that we are not going to accept that.
Okay.
I think it's a good move.
Thank you so much. I want to get your take on this, because if you remember very well, during the campaigns, president used a lot of money to these churches, and the president would contribute millions, even though there are quite a number of people who were complaining then during the campaign, where do you get this money and what is the source of this money? But the churches or the leaders of the churches would accept this money because this money was meant for building the churches, for church construction. And now the president is continuing to do what he used to do before. Yeah, there's nothing new about the churches that president is doing that he did not do before coming into power. Yeah.
The only different thing here is,
what is the difference? Because by then he was the deputy president.
The difference here is he's now the president and the buck stops with the president. While he was the deputy president,
Mhm.
he used to tell the people of Kenya that the buck stops with the president
Mhm.
and that I am a deputy president, but I'm not enjoying the powers and the privileges that comes with the position of the deputy president.
Yeah.
Now it is a different, the circumstances are different. He's now the president, and if you can remember when he was doing the campaigns in church, he would say that, you know what, I am the deputy president, but I don't even have the powers. Wamepea mtu mwingine kazi zangu. Sasa mimi natangatanga na natangatanga kukuja kwa makanisa nikae na nyinyi niposa tuongee pamoja. Sasa mimi ni mtu ya ground, mimi ni watu wa mabodaboda na mikokoteni.
Yeah.
Have you seen the president talking about mama mboga mkokoteni currently?
No, we've not seen him talking about that, but we want to know the real issues, because I think, to me, I'm not supporting the president. I'm not supporting president giving out money. I'm not supporting that, because these are questions that even then we used to raise before. We would ask, where is the president getting all this money? Because it was every weekend president used to visit Mount Kenya. Yeah. And we have to look at the background of him using money, on the churches. But now he's the president, the buck stops with him. Then he was the deputy president, and the law is the same, whether you are a deputy or a president. Why is it that now is when now the churches are now saying, okay, we do not want these donations?
I'm not speaking on behalf of the churches.
Yeah,
but
even us, we are not speaking on the behalf of the churches, but just we want to know the reason why.
My thinking is this.
Mhm.
The people of Kenya are going through tough times. There is a high cost of living in the Republic of Kenya.
Mhm.
The people of Kenya, most of them cannot afford their basic needs. There are no jobs.
Mhm.
Infrastructure is not good or nice. The cost of doing business in Kenya is too high. Everything is being priced. And the president is one, Dr. William Samoei Ruto.
Yeah.
If he's asked the reason why there are no good roads or infrastructure, if he's asked the reason why there's high cost of living and the reason why there's high taxes, he says that we don't have enough money in the government coffers. And he gives reasons that one, the finance bill did not materialize. He gives reasons that he has no enough capacity to run the country, and so he has to increase the prices of all these things. Remember, when he was the deputy president, the same issues were there. But when he was asked, he would say that I am the deputy president, but I don't make decisions.
Okay.
The president did not consult me. So what I was trying to say is that the circumstances are a little bit different, and that now when the people of Kenya ask him about anything, he's supposed to answer them because the buck stops with him. So the majority of these religious leaders, from my thoughts, they've seen that while he was the deputy, he told us the buck stops with the president. And so he was not answerable to the problems and the challenges that the people of Kenya were going through. Now he's the president. The buck stops with him. He should be answerable to the suffering and the high cost and every problem that the people of Kenya are going through.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me come to you, Miguda. Miguda, what we want to know, because and this is what I wanted Makubura to tell me, because now, as far as I know, maybe the Catholics during the campaign, I don't know whether he visited the Catholic church and they accepted the money. The Catholics is exceptional, like some other churches, yeah, would get the donation from president. And now the Council of Churches are saying no to the donation of the president. So we're asking, what have they learned? And why now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. First, I'd like uh, to respond to your question by stating clearly that it is true that the Council of Churches, they were being given donations during campaign, and they were very welcome to Mr. President during campaigns, except the Catholic Church. I never saw him going to the Catholic Church during campaigns. Not only the Catholic Church, but also he never visited Seventh-day Adventist Church when he was going to doing campaign, but he visited other churches whereby he used to give out donations. And remember, even after the Supreme Court, when we were at the Supreme Court disputing about the presidential election petition,
Yep.
the Council of Churches moved to current resident and advised Raila to withdraw the case. In fact, they go ahead and tell Raila that let him accept the decision of the court. The councils were spearheading Mr. Ruto's presidency. They go ahead and ask the people also to keep cool and William Ruto serve as the president. In my view, they have learned in a hard way because they have been accused during the time after Ruto became the president. People have been accusing them that this government is a product of the church. This government is the church who has given us this government. You cannot come out to castigate the same government which you people, you lead Kenyans to give Kenyans that government. That's why the church want to associate themselves from William Ruto, that even though we deliver the government, but we not participate in bad governance. In my view, that's what they want to tell the people, that even though we spearheaded William Ruto presidency, but we as the council of churches, we do not want to be part and parcel of the bad governance. Bad governance, in their view, is even giving donation to other churches. But the question which Kenyans could ask is, the donation which were given before campaigns or during campaigns and the donation which are being given currently, are there a difference? Is there clean money or there is one which is non-clean between the
Yeah.
two?
Yeah.
But that is not important. What is important here, the council churches just want to dissociate with themselves from the bad governance, and they don't want to promote corruption. They don't want to promote bad governance towards the people of Kenya, because they have realized that the majority of Kenyan's people do follow them. This is a point whereby you can lose members of your church if you go ahead and try to advocate for corruption, you try to advocate for bad governance. Members of your church can walk out and join other churches. You have heard people saying that I like Catholic Church because they return that money. Like the congregation can walk out of your church. For you to maintain your congregation and you maintain your your name, you need to dissociate yourself from the current regime activities. By dissociating yourself from the current regime activities, one of the reasons, you have to call out corruption. You have to call out those who have taken money to return those money, so that you can appeal to your congregation. At the same time, you can appeal to Kenyans that as for us, we are neutral as churches. But we want to tell the churches that even if they are doing the right thing right now, but they could also have done it before.
Yeah.
But in my view, they have learned from their mistake, but now they are trying to correct things, which is a good move. They should not stick to the wrongdoings.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hello. Okay. I think like one mic is muted. So um, just coming to the church and what happened, especially we are looking on what Ole Sapet actually said about giving, and if you're very careful or you're very keenful on what Ole Sapet said, like he's not opposed to the giving of tithe, yeah. But now, what is opposed to is that when you're giving your tithe, you should give it like any other ordinary person, rather than coming to the church and announcing what you are giving, that we are giving you 5 million and this is a tithe, you know. And as maybe as somebody who is somebody in the Christianity, on how do you usually give your tithe? Should you announce it to the whole world so that people could know that, okay, so and so gave this amount as a tithe? Because you find like when you're giving this tithe, they announce it there on the pulpit, and what happens, you could hear um, or you could get the acclamation from the congregants, and praising of what has been done. But is that the correct way to give the tithing on the church? because that one I think also it also give the classes they are going to, even if you're a poor person, somebody has given 5 million, will you have the courage to give your 20 shillings?
Maybe my opinion before Meguda comes. I think the lessons that I've learned about Christianity.
Yeah.
The Bible says that whatever your right hand gives, the left should not know.
Mhm.
In short, when you're paying tithe it is something that you're giving to the Lord. It is between you
Mhm.
and your God.
Yeah.
And if you can remember the stories of the Pharisees and the scribes, especially the Pharisees, there are these people wenye walipenda kujiona na kujionyesha,
Mhm.
and Jesus gave a parable that do not be like the Pharisees, that when they go to give, they want everyone to know that they have given this amount. And he taught his followers that a type or anything that you're giving, it is between you and your God.
Yeah.
If you have good intentions that you're giving to the Lord, you should not expose or tell people. Haufai kujibeba,
Mhm.
kujionyeshana
Mm.
mbele za watu. And the same way, he gave another parable that if you go to ukienda kuomba
Yeah.
na unataka Mungu akusamehe, umefanya makosa, ukienda huko usianze kusema ya kwamba mimi nafikiria mimi hata niko sawa, huyu ndugu yangu hapa Meguda juzi alifanya kitu ingine hapo.
Mhm.
Sasa mimi naomba Mungu unisamehe, huyu Meguda hapa ni mfanyi dhambi hata kushinda mimi, yeye alifanya kitu mimi najua. This is the kind of politics that you are seeing in the Republic of Kenya, and they're taking it to the church, whereby they want to even start accusing each other. They want to judge others. They want to be, they want to take the role of God. We need to. I like the move of the religious leaders, but it is a wrong time. Me, they would have started this and maintained it. We would not have gotten. The politicians would not have gotten this courage of continuing with this character. That is my take.
Okay. Laban Misiani. Hello, Brother Ben. Hello. Tuambie uko aje. I hope all of us here, we are doing fine, and we thank you for joining. We also have Brother Yaga that is talking. Ruto is a rejected man. I quote. He was a church candidate, and I don't know why ODM always in the falling side. Ayaga. Kwani hii chama uliwacha bwana? Okay, and let me tell you something. And now, this is what I might think, because like if you look at on how the president has always been giving money and everywhere, the president has always the money has been something that has played part. And as Ayaga said, that the president is kind of like losing that.
Maybe just one more thing before you give that. I forgot. I wanted to say this. Currently in Kenya we have so many churches. Most of them are still young churches.
Mhm.
The reason being, some of these churches are owned by politicians, or some of them are being financed by politicians.
Yeah.
Do you know why? The issue of money laundering has been a problem in the Republic of Kenya. The issue of corruption has been a problem in the Republic of Kenya.
Yeah.
And the only way to wash ile mali wanaosha hizi pesa ni kanisa.
Wewe unajua aje?
I am in the field of, let me not speak much. That is the truth. We know where money laundering is done and how wanaosha hizi pesa. The reason why there's too much corruption within the government is because these people take money. Now again, the churches are not being taxed. They don't, so there's a way that corrupt money, or money that is not brought in the right manner, can be washed in the churches. And so this is why politicians, most of them are getting closer, especially the corrupt one. They will get closer to the church leaders or the church officials. And the issue why there are so many young churches in the Republic of Kenya, these young churches, if you tell them you're giving them 5 million, I'm telling you, they'll never say no.
No, yeah.
They'll never say no. And that is the problem we have as a country. And this has even given has led to rise of so many churches.
Mhm.
Churches which do not even preach, do not even adhere to the rules of the Christianity. There are
Yeah.
so many churches which are preaching something else, which is totally not Christianity.
Mhm.
There are so many churches which are, if you like, similar to those ones, which are killing, which people get into, and then they tend to forget they're human beings, that, they start getting into cultism and the rest. All
Oh,
these are churches. And
so
these things are being money that is being given by politicians is what is making these young churches to grow. And that is why they don't even have the capacity to come out and say that, you know what, has hatutaki hiyo pesa. Them they will tell you bring them. Watakwambia mbona wanarudisha, walete. So churches needs, I agree with what Dr. Ida once said. As much as religion in the Republic of Kenya should not be, you know, uh, it should not be that there are no like strict regulation should not be put, but I believe it should be done what
regulated.
regulate
Mm.
in a way,
Mhm.
because if it is not regulated, there are so many crooks and cultism that is going to come in the name of Christianity.
Okay. Okay. Let me come to Miguda. Miguda, uh, Makobura is saying the churches should be regulated, and I don't know whether you agree with that or you uh, don't agree with it, but I want you to maybe give us your thought on why the president has always, every time he goes to church, that after speaking, that he usually gives the money, yeah, to the church in terms of tithe. And you remember one of the things that president said immediately after the protest was that because the going to church was like revealing to Kenyans the opulence, yeah, that the politicians are the kind of life they're living. They're living a very lavish life, while the Kenyans are not feeling that economy that they are thriving on. And he was the first person to say that the issue of giving money to the churches, that one should stop. But immediately after that, he was the first person to give that. Why do you think so?
Before I respond to the issue of regulation of churches
Hmm.
and the president talking about people going to churches by being opulent, let me first go and revisit the question you asked Makobura about should we give out of our heart or out of showing to other people that we have?
Yeah.
I want to refer Makobura to the book of the Holy Book Bible. There
Hmm.
was a certain, this was now a real event. Jesus Christ was in church, was in the synagogue, and a widow came to pay tithe. That widow gave out whatever she was having. Then there was a certain Pharisees who gave out of showing. He was showing people what he has. Jesus concluded by saying, I tell you, the congregants, that it is this widow who has given out whatever she was having, but not that Pharisees who has given out whatever he brought to the church as a tithe offering.
Yeah.
It is good for the people to give out from their heart, and you give out whatever you have. Don't give out and leave certain amount. Even there was a certain story whereby when Jesus was going on his way to Galilee, from I believe he was from Samaria, he met a certain centurion soldier. And when Jesus was telling the people that giving is out of the heart, the other party should not see you giving to the people. And Jesus could even read the heart of the people. the people right now should know that they should not give out to human being or
Okay.
who is seeing them. That's how it should be. When you talk about the issue of regulation of churches, how do we regulate churches or not? There, I can just give my honest opinion that, in my view, I do not think that we should regulate churches.
Mm.
Churches should be left to, let me talk about religion, not churches, religion. Religion should be left out to act independently. And even in our constitution, it was very deliberate that there shall be no state religion because of our diversity in nature or in terms of religion. That this is not a Muslim state or a Christian state or a Hindu state. This is a republic, and we do not need to put it to be seen as it is a Christian state the way Mr. President and his allies want it to be. The religion should be left to work independently. There should be no linkage between. There should be understood that the religion should be independent, from the religion. That's where the problem is. The state should be state, religion should be religion. And even if you are a state officer or a public officer and you are a member of a certain religion, be it you are a Muslim or a Christian or a Hindu, do
Yeah.
your go religion independently with your God. Do not bring it to the public that I am a Christian, I donate, I give out. That is not good. That is nonsensical. If you are a religious person, just maintain your religion with your God, wherever you're going to church or you're going to mosque or wherever you're going to temple. Do it independently as a religion person or as a congregant. But do not use your position as a state officer or a public officer to use that opposition position to express yourself that you're a religious person, you do those things. That's where we get it wrong. That's why I tell you that in terms of regulation, church should be left out to work independently. State as well should work independently. So that there should be a distinct between a state and a religion. And there shall be no state religion as it was expressed because the kind of the people we have in the country and the kind of the culture that we have as a country.
Okay, thank you so much. And let me come to Makobura. You know, I think like even the churches should be universal. You know, because if we talk of let's say if we talk of returning the money or returning the donation that president gave, you know, it also should be applied to all politicians, especially those who, when they go to give their tithe, they announce before the people. Yeah, because if you cannot tell me that you want to donate, you want to to reject the 5 million and you're taking 10,000. That is now being biased.
And maybe something else that maybe you can clarify to me or Meguda is the money that was given by the president.
Yeah.
Is it his personal money that he was giving as an individual, or it was a public money that he was giving us? He took it to Catholic Church, for example, and say that this is money from the people of Kenya.
Mm.
From my understanding, I think it was his personal money, right?
Yeah. From that was his personal money.
And the question then that which comes is,
Mm.
the president earns 1.4 million,
Yeah.
around that amount.
Mhm.
If it is very funny by the way.
No,
Yeah,
okay,
I
no.
understand
Mm.
what you're saying. It is not bad to give, we can give.
Yeah.
But what does that really show to the people of Kenya and to even the politicians?
And that's where the question is, because the question is based on the challenges that the country are going through. Yeah. You know, you come and weigh this option. The country is not doing well, but the people who have been employed by the country are thriving more than the country they are serving in.
And remember, he gives this almost on every Sunday.
And
Where does he get this money?
so that's why that's the reason why it was like, if you listen to Lesapit, some of the suggestion was, one, if you go to the church, you are not given a pulpit to speak as a politician. You come and you worship, go your way. That is one. Secondly, when you're coming to the church and you want to give as a tithe, you know, give it as any other person, because we believe in the church we are all equal before God. Yeah. So when you're giving it, yeah, try to give it in a secrecy so that nobody would know what you are giving. Because let's say, for example, and what this is example that I gave earlier, you've given a tithe of 10 million, or a sadaka, let's say a sadaka tithe, there's a tithe, there's offering. I don't know which one was given during the both of them. There's a tithe and there's offering, or they're the same.
Different,
Yeah.
but of course, the whole thing goes. It's just similar. The
No,
wordings are just
no, it's not similar. The tithe is you give the 10% of your earning.
But where is that money going?
It's going to the church.
The offerings are also going to the church.
Yeah, the offering are going to the church, but the offerings are the ones that you give on a daily basis. The tithe, you give it once in a year.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But
So
the whole intention is one.
and if you look at if you look at in the old traditional on how it used to be, if you come back, let me just bring you in the setup of our African traditional way of life. When the church came, let's say you could not produce money, yeah, umeenda ukavuna, baada ya kuvuna ukatoa gunia 7 za mahindi, so which means out of that gunia 7 for the whole year, yeah, you should take 10% of that ndio unapeleka kanisani. It is not the offering, especially offering is not monetary. It depends. Yeah, offering is not monetary. It is something that you offer yourself to, you offer to the church. Unaweza kuwa umepanda mahindi ikafanya vizuri during that time, then unasema out of this yenye nimepata kwa katika gorogoro 10 ambayo mimi niko nazo, mimi gorogoro moja ndapeleka hekaluni kwa Mungu. Alafu kuna ile pesa ambayo unatoa every Saturday or every Sunday when you go to church. Hiyo ndio sasa inaitwa offering.
Catholics do offerings every Sunday.
Yeah, that's offering. What about tithing?
Yeah, because if we go with the explanation that you are giving, every Sunday after giving the normal sadaka, after sadaka, there's also a session that comes immediately after, whereby if you have mahindi, beans or whatever, unabeba kwa mikono yako pia unapeleka. But I think it's different with other churches. Yeah, so that offering, the conflict here is whatever you offer, it should come from your heart, yes. And if it is something that you are getting from your home, something tangible, then it should be a product of which is part of what you have. We're gonna just speak kindly.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And Makobura, I think so Miguda, let's go as Makobura is still engaging in that. So that's where now the difference is the offering and the tithe. But now what I feel is, I think the reason why now many people might be not in agreement with the president, one, because of the position he's holding. Yeah, because he's like the father of the nation. The father of the nation. People look you as somebody who is supposed to be the CEO of the country. And in the CEO of the country, you as a CEO, you are thriving, and the country that you're leading the country that you're leading with the people are feeling some challenges. So it doesn't reflect. Yeah. So that is one of the things. And now when we come to politics, about the issue of the money, I think one of the main reason why, especially all politicians are usually going to the church and give this money into the in public and say how the much they have contributed. One is to like buying the loyalty from the people, because it is a new way of campaigns, or a new way of the political way of campaigning in this era, to buy their loyalty. And how do you buy their loyalty? People will say, okay, so and so usually give to us in the church, so we will vote for him. Or what do you think about that?
It is buying loyalty from the public,
Yeah,
from the general public. At the same time, the reason why I say that religion should be independent is because even if the president is giving out his personal money or not, that is not important. What is important here is that the religion should be independent, and the religion is always independent in even how they collect their money, how they're getting their money.
yeah,
Some do get it from donors, some do get from missionary people, some do get it from the independent. Even the issue of tithes and offering, they can
yeah,
be transformed to be funds which are being used by the religious leaders, even the construction of the churches, even assisting of the people in need, the needy people, the orphans, the widows in that church. The politicians should not come in as if they are the savior to the people in church. They should just do their public services, not interfere with the church's services. Because even if they do not go to those churches will still operate independently. The
okay,
issue of
go ahead.
if the issue the last question you have asked me about
The
the issue
loyalty.
of politics and church, whereby they are buying loyalty. In my view, it is applicable in a manner that once I come to your church as a politician, and I'm a good friend of you as maybe a pastor, a bishop, a reverend, if you have good ties with you, to an extent that I can even purchase you a vehicle,
Yeah.
sometimes I can come to your church and even give you your own personal bahasha, the way they are saying.
Mhm.
During the time you are preaching to the congregants, you understand that most of the people in that congregation, they do believe whatever their leader has instructed them to do. For instance, the people who are following Ezekiel, they believe in whatever Ezekiel is saying. You
Yeah.
cannot contradict Ezekiel. The people who
Mhm.
are following Prophet Owor, they believe in whatever Owor is saying. You cannot contradict Prophet Owor. That's how even these other people believe in their leaders, they believe in their pastors, they believe in the father, in the bishop, in the reverend. And remember, even there's a time when Raila was seeking to go for re-election, for election
Yeah.
with 2017. He went to Owor's church, he was baptized alongside Kalonzo Musyoka. The people from that repentance and holiness, they got instruction from the bishop that the person who has come to our church, we have worshipped with them, we have ate with them, we have drank with them, we have baptized them. These are the candidates you should vote for them. And I believe the people from repentance and holiness voted overwhelmingly for Kalonzo and Raila ticket in 2017 because of what Owor said. Remember, even when the time Ezekiel Odero was having some issues with the state,
Mhm.
Raila went to Ezekiel's residence and paid him a courtesy call to an extent that the people from Ezekiel Odero's church viewed Raila as a friend to that church. That's applied to these other churches and religious centers. If I go to your church, there's possibility that whenever you are the person you believe to the leader of that church
Yeah.
will give someone, he will sometimes try to lure people to follow. They will tell you that if you go for elections, remember our friends, the people who have been coming to our church, remember them. So it is a way of buying loyalty indirectly through the leaders, through the church leaders, those people who are viewed as pastors, bishops, reverend, and father. The politicians use them to buy the loyalty of the members of that religion center. That's why I say it's buying loyalty indirectly through their leaders, but it is applicable and it is working for them. And because the people always believe that whatever the people have said, those who are leading them are right, and they cannot contradict them. to an extent that even if I can prophesy that on next year, February, the world will come to an end. People will start, my followers will start selling their properties that the world will end next year on February. If they can believe that the world will end, and even if they can believe to an extent that some of them were even lured by Ezekiel to that extent, the Shakaola incident, it means that just a politician who has come to my church, it's very easy for me to persuade my congregants to vote for him. And that's where the politicians are seeing a gap in the religion sector.
And this one brings us about when we look at the Christianity itself as a religion and we compare it with some other religions, because look at the Islamic religion in this country. When you look at Uhuru administration, yeah, you know, Uhuru administration was one administration that, especially when it come to the issue to do with the religion, they kept out of it. He did not engage, because I can remember the times that Uhuru could even invite our brothers from uh, the Islamic faith to go to the state house on religious matters, but he did not come out to be vocal the way the current president is. And if you compare, even again, Ayaga has really talked about it here. I wanted to mention it about what is happening in the Christianity and what is happening in the Islamic religion. You find that the Islamic religion is 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 more well organized, because they do not have this donation that come to the church. We don't see the the politicians going to the mosque and doing all this. It just only happen in our churches. Why is that one so?
It is so because a politician always put his interest first. And the reason why they are too much in Christianity compared to Islamic religion is because a good number of percentage of the population of the country are Christians. Kenya as a republic has got majority of Christians compared to other religion. In particularly, the population, particularly the people who make the population of the country, most of them are Christians compared to Islamic. And they can go to Islamic during those celebrations of the Islamic religion when they have their usual celebration. Usually see them in those celebrations, they usually attend. Once they attend those celebrations, they will appeal to the people in the mosque and they will hear them. Unlike Christians, whereby Christians compose the highest population of the country, and the politicians must invest on the people because it is the people who voted who are going to vote for them. Therefore, they have no business with Islamic religion because they do not make the majority of the population of the country. Christians are more than Muslims in Kenyan Republic. That's why they will invest much of their time and money in Christianity. And once they have a formation alliance from people in the Islamic religion, for instance, if Raila is having Junet by his side, who is a Muslim, William Ruto will have Duale by his side, who is a Muslim. Whenever they want to make inroads in northern Kenya, they usually work with those leaders to those areas. And even those areas where they are coming from, they are not more in terms of population. They are few. They are few. Even in Nairobi, Eastleigh, they are more, but they are not registered voters. They don't vote as much as Christians do vote. That's why, in my conclusion, a politician will always go where the interest is. And for that reason, the interest here is Christianities who make the higher percentage of the population of the country. You have muted.
You've talked about the population. Does it mean that now, because the population of Christians are much way higher than those of Muslims, yeah, or our brothers in Islamic faith, so they can just not follow the laws or the morals and the values of the church just because of population? Because I've never seen, especially like today, through even the leaders who are coming from Islamic faith, have gone and donated around 10 million, and in public. I know they do because some of them usually participate in building or facilitating the building of the mosque. Yeah, but you will not get even a single one of them saying that, okay, during when we were constructing this mosque, I gave 10 million or I gave 5 million. But when it come to Christian here and people complain, you will find the leaders, especially you remember when the Catholics really rejected the money in the first place. There are so many leaders who came after the church, including Honorable Boss. She was called Gladys Murkomen. Yeah. Even to my surprise, even Junet, to remember the other time in the parliament, the way he was talking in the parliament and saying, oh, okay, if I don't know, if they don't hear, they will see on how, I don't know what, get the milk. And remember, this is not his faith, but he's Christian, because now he was even lecturing the bishops or the people in the Christian world. Why is it one so that when it comes to Christianity, there's that leeway, but when it comes to Islam, they are very much well organized and very much respectful of the Christian values, the Islamic values and laws that guides them?
I got you. I got you very clearly. The Junaid Mohammed you are talking of, whenever he's in his constituency, he's a Christian, and usually
Mm,
go to those Christian celebration, even Christian churches, even donate. So it means that his politics overrides his religion.
mm,
And that's why I told you the way the Junaid's politics overrides his religion because of the interest of the Sunnis people. That's how even the politics of the William Ruto, they will particularly focus on the Christian side. But I got your point where you're saying, but if it comes to Islamic religion, they seems to have some restriction. The religious doctrines are being observed by politicians, unlike Christians, whereby the Christian doctrines are not being observed.
yeah.
Brother Benson, it depends with the fundamental beliefs of that church. And I can tell you that even the Catholic Church, it is built on a strong fundamental. That's why these people do not go to Catholic most of the time. That's why these people do not go to SDA most of the time, because the fundamental beliefs of the church. For instance, if you're a politician and you visit SDA church, you will wait until the pastor or the person presiding the sermon finish the sermon. Then you will not be given a microphone to speak. They'll just recognize you that we have Governor so and so in the
Yeah.
midst of the congregation. They won't give you mic to speak. That's why they don't like to go to SDA, because they understand the fundamental beliefs of that church. Similarly, the fundamental beliefs of the Catholic do have similar, like of those ones for the Seventh Day Adventist Church. That's why there are some Christians whereby they do not observe the doctrines, they don't have the fundamental beliefs of those church. That's where the politician is seeing an opportunity to go and make his way to the congregants. And let me just give you a certain story in the Bible, in the Gospel of John. There was a saint, there was a person who was not a Jew. He was called Jairus. Jairus had a daughter, and this is the Gospel of John. Jairus had a daughter. The Gospel of Mark. Jairus had a daughter, and this daughter was got ill and died. When Jairus approached Jesus and the disciples so that he could go and Jesus asked Jesus to come and heal the daughter before the daughter died, the disciples of Jesus had told Jesus that this person deserves our service because he built for us a synagogue.
Yeah.
The politicians has cleverly taken that script. They are going to the churches so that they, after appealing to the leaders that we contributed our donation in the construction of the church or whatever in that church. Therefore, the congregants deserve to give back the way Jesus Christ gave back by raising Jairus' daughter from the land of the dead. It simply means that they believe that once they have done something, they expect a payback. But
Mm,
remember that story, that person never knew that there was a time whereby the child will die. He just got there to seek some counsel, And people say, okay, Jesus, he deserves our service because he built for us a synagogue. What's happening currently? Politicians, they are going to these churches so that whenever that time of elections comes, the leaders in that church will ask the congregants that if you are going to election, remember our friends, those people used to come to this church. That's why people have been asking questions. Even if that is their personal money, because they used to brag, it was my money, it's my personal money. We agree, it's their money, their personal money, their businesses, they have been in politics for long, they have been doing business for long. Nothing should worry Kenyans. But the point is, even if you are giving back to society, we have many people have asked them, why can't they construct schools? Why can't they build hospitals? Even if they are saying that, that's why we say that there should be distinction between a state and a religion. Because if they want to say that there is a state and a religion relationship,
Mhm.
they will try to run away from Article 43, economic and social rights. They will tell
Yeah.
that economic and social rights should be done by the state, but church should be done by a state officer. What is the distinction there? They're just trying to tell that we are going to church because we are state officers and we're worshiping the church, but we cannot build schools, we cannot build hospitals because that should be done by the state. But the question is, who is the state officer? It is them who are the state officers who should implement that economic or social rights. But at the same time, they'll tell you that no, 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 as that is a state that is a state responsibility. But for us, as a state officer, I also have a duty to build my church. And that's bring me the point which you have asked during the parliament debate when Junet brought that issue of Christianity. That's why until these politicians are very crazy because Junet was trying to castigate Christianity and people came out largely to support that submission. But remember the same Junet in his backyard is a Christian. He has even local names of Christians in that Sunnis constituency. So it means that politicians do not they don't mind whatever you are seeking right now, but their interest overrides whatever is in the place.
Okay. I tend to. Can you hear me?
Very clearly,
You can hear me.
very clearly.
Can you
You are
mute
very
your mic?
clear.
Try to mute. Hello? Yeah. So now I can, because like I don't know, my mic is picking your mic. I don't know why. So I tend to agree with you on what you've said about our leaders. And as much as we might blame our leaders too, the church leaders also, the people that are in charge of church leadership, also they should be blamed. They should take full responsibility. And and that's why I was insisting and saying that what has really changed. Yeah, because if the president gave money for almost 2 good years during his campaign. Yeah, each and every weekend, president was giving this money, and the president was going and we are giving this money, we are building this, we are building it in the entire 2 years before he even became the president. You know, and nobody was rejecting this money. Yeah, and right now they're saying the money, we don't know the source, or why should he give it in public. Yeah, because the men, they are the people who started it. If at all the church were very, very grounded on their morals, they would have told Mr. President, no, this is what we are not this is what should be done. If you're giving, or if you want to build a church, okay, just bring your money. We will appreciate you, and we will say, okay, the president has really assisted us with certain amount of money, or so and so politician has given us this money toward the construction of the church. You know, that's okay, and people will accept. But remember, you've left it in a way, and until you normalize it. Yeah, after normalizing it, now is when you come and realize and say, now we should not do that. And you can remember talking about Olesapet. You know, um, before, you know, he was. I think he was not criticizing the president the way he's now criticizing the president. You know, remember even during the bombers, what happened, and even people called him out. Yeah, but things have changed. in Christianity kuna ile wakati unaweza badilika, unaona. Lakini ni nini haswa kimebadilika, ambapo saizi wanaona kwamba hii pesa ambao rais anatoa si pesa mzuri, lazima imrudishie. Na kama tunarudishia rais pesa yake, kwa wale ambao labda wanasema kwa sababu president alikuwa ametoa milioni 5, mtu akasema nampatia 50,000, hii 50,000 inarudishwa kweli? So ni kama tunarudisha ya rais, lazima turudishe pia hii ingine, kwa sababu zote zimewekwa wazi. Kama tunakataa, tukatae yote, tusikatae tu ya rais. Ama wewe una maoni gani? Si kwa sababu na support president, but now if you are fighting corruption, we cannot fight corruption only on the office of the president. Then the offices of the governor, MPs and MCAs, we are leaving those. Then that one you're not fighting corruption, when we are not being very factual.
Yeah, that is true. We are not being very factual.
Yeah.
Because if it's corruption
It
from the
is.
head of state, from governor, from MP, from senator, even from MCA. It is corruption. But now the problem is, how can you differentiate that this money is a corrupt money and this one is a legit money? How do you differentiate that this money belongs to William Ruto personal business, this one belongs to the state? You cannot distinguish that. And the people also in parliament were saying that even if they return those money, Kimani Ichung'wah was saying they have never returned those money. They're just saying we have returned, but no person has returned. And they were even going ahead to say that if actually they can return those money, there are many people who have SMS them that once that money is returned, can
Let us know.
bring it back money.
To me, what I think, what can save this solution, or what can solve this issue is one. Because you cannot differentiate. Because even me, I can bring my 2,000, and it can be questionable. Is it really my own money? Ama ulienda ukapiga msengeta mahali ukaleta kanisani? Sindio? Sio pia iko. Si kuna pia wale wanaweza piga watu ngeta mahali alafu wanalikuja wanaleta hii kitu church, si ndio? Hiyo pia iko.
Hiyo iko.
Labda naweza sema ni kuwa tukitoa hizi pesa, kwa sababu hata kama ukuwe mwanasiasa, ukitoa hizi pesa weka katika ile inaitwaje ile mfuko ya offering, yeah? Weka hapo ndani, tusijue umetoa ngapi, yeah? Kama ni 5 million umeleta na ile bagi yako, kama ile nani alikuwa unaona ile bagi yenye walibeba nayo ya rais kule Bungoma, yeah? Saa unaweza ita pasta huko nyuma, baada ya useme kwamba watu wasijue kwamba rais alikuwa ametoa pesa, ama watu wasijue kwamba ulitoa pesa. Unaona? Kuja huko mwambie bana, hii rais amekuja akatoa hivi milioni 5. Hizi ndio pesa ambayo rais ametoa. Unaona? Sasa watu itakuwa iko sawa, lakini itakuwa ni vigumu sana kwa wanasiasa. And if they are supposed to give or donate something, let them donate it secretly, that nobody knows that they've donated. Then hiyo itakuwa ni sawa. Lakini pia kama wanaweza toa secretly without watu kujua, hiyo ni sawa, tumekubali utoe. Lakini kama utatoa pale ukuje useme kwa kanisa mimi nimetoa hii, hiyo ni kama itakuwa ni kama unanunua watu, ama unataka watu waegemee upande wako, na pia utakuwa unavunja wananchi roho, kwa sababu kuna wengine ambao shida ambao wanapitia ni mingi sana. Na hapa sasa Miguda, tena tukikuja hapa, when we come to the churches especially, you know, when you look at it is like the churches has become like a big business pool whereby people get rich out of them. Some of the churches that have really come, forget about the churches like the we call it the evangelical churches that came after the colonization. You know, some of them you find like somebody just start a church with the two people within a period of 2 days. Hey, ile magari huyu jamaa ako nayo unashangaa. Hmm? That's now we're talking over it. Is it that we should regulate, or you still insist no?
Regulation, to a certain extent, it should not be done. You understand when people talk about regulation,
Mhm.
it's like you want to organize how church operates to an extent that you want to incorporate state legislation into church. It will bring confusion. The church should, that's why I said the church should be operate independently, because if you bring state legislation into church,
Yeah.
it's going to bring conflict of interest between religion and the state. There should be a clear distinction. The problem began sometimes back even during the Roman Empire,
Mm.
whereby the Roman Empire tried to incorporate the Roman laws into religious laws, but that is what led to the rise of Protestant. The Protestant, and we have had this debate with Marco Bura. We have talked like maybe 3 hours, and understand very well that whenever there was an emergence of incorporation of state laws into the church doctrine, whereby the Roman Catholic wanted to have state laws to establish a state law to into church. Well, that's why these debates have emerged like national Sunday law. But people say that there should no regulation. Churches should be distinct from the state. And that is what led to the rise of Protestant churches to date. And I do not see any reason why a state should regulate a church, because church are independent and they have their doctrines, they have their fundamental beliefs, they operate independently, and they have their own canons whereby they operate independently. A state also operate independently. I do not see a setup whereby if a state want to regulate church, it's going to bring a lot of confusion and a lot of conflict of interest between a state and the church, because the members of the church also form the part of the members of the state. It will not go well with the state, and that's why it was deliberate in the constitution that there shall be no state religion. Kenya is a republic. It is a state. It's not a religion. It's not an Islamic state. It's not a Christian state. Let it be a republic. I don't support that issue of regulating of the churches. It should be left independently. But the issue of church leaders giving out their whatever, be it tithe, be it offerings, it should not be done in a public. It should not be broadcasted on microphone. If you go to church, just give out silently, because before they became politicians, they used to give out tithes and offering. They used to give out their tithes and offering in churches. What has changed that now they are politicians? They want everybody to know that they have donated. But during the time when they were businessmen and women, no one knew their donations. And the people also some people have used church to do business, to enrich themselves. That is their own right, their own freedom. They can do whatever they want to do. But we must remember that church should be independent from the state, and it should operate independently. And most importantly, the leaders should not tell the people whatever they have donated in churches, because even before they become leaders or state officers, they used to go to church. They never begin to go to church. They did not begin to go to church by the time they were state officers. They began to go to church long time ago, even when they were young people. They even us when we were young, we used to give out our tithes. Currently, we are giving out tithes. It means that once we, in future, if at all we can come to of age and take leadership responsibility, does it mean that now we will be broadcasting it that today I'm in this church, I've donated? There's no difference. We have been giving out, we will continue giving out, even when we are from this position to other position, we still give out, but we never broadcast the view that we have donated. That is what is raising eyebrows to other churches. Back to you, Makubura.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Megoda. Maybe a clarification that I would want you to give your opinion on is the issue of there are a good number of religious leaders who have taken advantage of the laws of the Republic of Kenya, the freedom of worship, the freedom of religion, and they have taken advantage to an extent that the things that they are engaging on, the preaching that they are doing, is not what even religion, is not what aligns with religion or even Christianity. We've seen a number of churches which are doing the opposite. They call themselves Christians, but they do opposite of what Christianity teaches. We've gotten to a point where we've even seen churches where people are getting brainwashed. People are being told that education is not helpful to them. People are being told that if you have any wealth or anything that you've bought, it is not, it is not necessary, and that you sell whatever you have and come and fast. There's a good number of people who have died in that quest of under the leadership of such leaders, similar to what we saw in Shakahola. A good number of people died, you know, because they were misled by the religious leader over there. But not just that. Uh, we've seen this in so many churches. There was one in Kisumu. What was the name of that? I've forgotten. I don't know, Coptic, whatever. So, what is your take on this? And I've heard you say clearly that the drafters of the constitutions were very clear that they needed to give that freedom of worship and making decisions when it comes to issues to do with religion. How are we then going to, stop or to thwart, these people who are having an opposite thinking, and they are religious leaders, they've got followers, and they're misleading people, their congregants? How are we going to deal with this? Just your opinion.
Can you hear me? That's a very good question, because that's why people want the churches to be regulated. But the question is, do you want the churches to be regulated, or you want religion to be regulated? Are we regulating churches, or we are regulating temples? We are regulating mosque? Which one do we regulate? Religion or churches? The reason why I'm saying there should be no regulation in such cases, for instance, let me just use recent example, the case of Shakahola. People have free right to worship. You cannot control my freedom of worship. I have a freedom. I can choose where to worship and who to worship and who to worship with. That is well understood. But the question is, if anybody or any person who is leading that worship engage into any act or omission that subject the members of the society to have been committed, to have been committed an offense. For instance, the issue of Shakahola, where members of public were, but telling someone that education is not important, or sell your things and follow me, that is up to someone consent. Some people, you have a right to say no, you have a right to say yes. But going to an extent of taking someone's life, that someone is going to lose his life because of your stories ajaba. People are going to lose their parts of their body, whereby you commit acts of violence against someone and you are engaging in
I think Mr. Meguda is having a network problem.
in my view, there are clear laws in the country. Can you? Okay, I'm
Yes,
back.
you can.
I'm back. I'm saying In such cases, there are clear laws whereby they can be taken action. For instance, the case of Mackenzie, you can be accused of crimes against humanity because if there was systematic killing of the people, a large number of people, like this of the case of Shakahola, you can be charged with crimes against humanity. You can be charged with murder. You can be charged with whatever offense you committed. But if you are driving any religion without committing any offense to the public, without committing any offense to an individual, you have a right to go on with your worship and your services, provided that you don't contravene the laws of the land, you don't contravene fundamental freedoms and basic human rights, you don't contravene any laws that has been established by the laws of the land, any international obligations, you are not contravening. You have that freedom to worship, and there is no need for you to be regulated. But in case you have any issue, you have any relationship to an extent that you have committed any crimes against humanity, you have subjected humanity to suffering, you have subjected humanity to a point of some dying, that one you will be taken care of by the state agencies who are responsible to take care of the criminals in the country. That's why I'm saying there's no need of regulation, but in case someone acted or omitted any action that relate to interference with anybody's freedom right or freedom of human freedom or any basic right, there are laws that are put in place to take care of those people, Makobura.
Okay, very well. Thank you. Thank you for that good analysis. Maybe something else that I would also want you to give your opinion on is the role of politicians, and the church. Most of these politicians, they are members of different churches. The president is a member of, is it AIC? Is it AIC? Yeah. The prime cabinet secretary is, I don't know, from Quakers. Is it, what is it? What's his name? I don't know what Quakers. And, the speaker is Catholic. Why is it that these people, they're members of these churches and they know the rules of these churches, you know, uh, and they don't even defend, they don't speak about, reminding themselves and the leaders that, you know what, let us not do this. Why are they not speaking up to somehow, you know, remind each other that let us just respect churches? Why are we not seeing them coming out to give an opinion to each other, or to convince or to talk to each other and tell them that let us respect the altar of the Lord. Let us not misuse it to do money laundering. Let us not use it, to do, you know, to be seen by the people of Kenya and all these kind of things. Why are we not having leaders who are able and ready to, carry their own mistakes and to also speak on behalf of the people? Mr. Good.
I do not want to blame politicians most of the time, but I'll also shift my blame to our church leaders. Our church leaders are part and parcel of the problem. They are in bed with the political leaders of the country. The reason why I'm saying they are in bed with the political leaders of the country is because it is the church leaders who has allowed this culture to go on for a long period of time. They have given these politicians platform because the politicians also blame them that it is the church leaders who usually give them invitation letters. The leaders have demonstrated that they have been part and parcel of this problem. That's why, even if you talk about the leaders coming together and agreeing with the churches that they will not engage into donation because they are all of them, like you have said, most of them are Christians. They can agree and come out that we are Christians, let us do the right thing as what the Bible is teaching Christians to do when it comes to the issue of money. If they cannot come together, you find that even the leaders themselves, they are not united. They cannot come together. And this brings me to the issue of religion as a division. Religion is dividing the people. The same way religion is dividing the people, that's how religion is dividing the leaders. Like Moses Wetangula is from Catholic, presidents from AIC, Raila from ACK, Anglican. They are not united even when it comes to religion. Therefore, they cannot be united because, like the issue of Catholic, you are a strong Catholic, you understand the doctrines of Catholic. How will Moses Wetangula convince the people, that we, the Catholic people, we want you to church? They will say, okay, we know you Catholic, the way you are very strict, we are going to come. Wetangula will not talk for the ACK, Wetangula will not talk for the AIC. Vis-a-vis, the president will not talk for the ACK, the president will not talk for the Catholic Church. He will only speak for the AIC. The division in it, Makubura, the point I want to put is the division in the religions are successful divide the people, whereby you view a Catholic as an enemy, you view a AIC as an enemy, a ACK as an enemy, the way you viewed a UDA as enemy, a ODM as enemy, a WIPA as enemy, because the politics has also divided the people. The same way the politics has divided the people, that's how religions has divided the people. So there is no conformity between our religious leaders. There's no conformity between our political leaders to that they can agree on how they can drive this agenda. That's where the problem is, the division in the religion and the division in the political class. There is absolutely no way these people can come together to advocate for the interests of the church, because even if Wetangula tried to utter anything to the Catholic, the Council of Bishops of Catholic call him and ask him, you are speaking as who? And we understand the way we congregants, we respect our religious leader to understand that we cannot go against any provisions they have given to the church members.
Okay, Mr. Megunda. Mr. Megunda, how would you rate the church when it comes to instilling discipline in the nation? How would you rate, the role of the religious leaders in reminding the government that they have a role to play, in reminding the government of the sufferings of the people? From where you see it, are you seeing they've played their part? And how would you rate them? And what do you think is right? Or what do you think they would have done better to ensure that Kenya gets to a better place?
I don't know how to rate them independently, but I like to rate them with the school. In my view, the school has done very well in instilling discipline to the citizens, all the school process. If you go through the process very well, you emerge someone who is patriotic and responsible citizen, unlike someone who has stayed so much into religion. This is why I'm saying that religion sometimes do spoil people. It will spoil you to understand that even in religion, they will not allow you to work hard to some extent. They will not allow you to do things creatively, independently. This is how they want to restrict you to believe in the religion, and they believe that it is only religion that has got all solution to life's problem, and they want you to stay that path, which to me sometimes you need to go extra religion. And even Jesus himself said that God only helps those who help themselves. You can go extra mile. Even if you believe in God, you worship God and Jesus Christ, sometimes you need to stretch as a human being. And when it comes to instilling of discipline, religion has failed terribly because in my view, religion is just like they are spoiling people. It's like you are being spoiled. If you are brought up in a religion setup, this is how you are being spoiled. They will not tell you the reality in life. They will stick to you to church and they want you to believe in church. That's why the politicians are aware that the religion is how they can go in and they will find them have one direction of thinking. And anybody who has a contrary opinion can sometimes be summoned by the church leaders and he or she can be subjected to some disciplinary processes. Like in our church, this is how they can take you through disciplinary processes to an extent that you will not even have your sacrament sometimes for some period of time because
Hello, hello, Mr. Miguda. Miguda is having some problems with his network, but to our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. I will request you that if you're new there here, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. Because if you subscribe, it is a way of supporting us as a channel, and we will really, really appreciate. Today, we're just trying to have a conversation on the role of the church and, everything that they've played in ensuring that we have a better country. Of late, we've seen situations where religious leaders or church leaders are saying no to the money which the government has been giving. Not so long ago, the Catholic Church returned 5 million that was donated by the president at a church in Kayolo. Not so long ago, again, I think it was just last week in Bungoma, there was something else which was happening, and the Ncck also returned. They're planning to return the 5 million which was donated by the president. And so the churches have started rebelling and returning the money that has been given by the politician. And so this is an issue that the people of Kenya are talking about, and there are different mixed reactions that is coming from the people. So this is what we are trying to talk about over here, and we are just trying to give our opinions and to hear the opinions of the people of Kenya, because in the social media, be it Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and all these places, this issue is being talked about by the people of Kenya. And we felt it was a good thing to also give our views on it so that we may try to educate the people of Kenya and make them understand what is happening. So I think we are coming to an end. Mr. Miguda had some problems with this network and he has dropped. Okay, thank you, Brother Ben.
Hey, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Thank you for coming back.
No, I'm not staying for long. There's something that I'm working on, and I just wanted to come and um, thank you for um, the hosting when I dropped. And I'm seeing Laban Misiani has so many comments. Did you read Makobura? Let Ruto be. He is the president of Kenya. The church must mind its religious role. The Seventh Day Adventist is very independent. Okay, this is yes, and that's why I was saying like I think Matondates, hey, umepotea sana. Sisi tuko hapa tunajaribu. It is long since you spoke to us or since you came on air. I hope you're doing fine, sir. Yeah, so, and what happened to me, good?
I think he is having some problems with this network.
Yeah.
Yes, so it just dropped. Maybe Mato Makandet can also give us his opinion on the role of the religious leaders and what has been happening. Najua yeye akosangi maoni.
But you know, one thing that I still, to me, I think like when it comes to giving or when it comes to giving the donation, one thing that should happen, it should be so secret that nobody should know what you are giving, you know? Because like the other time I was also saying that what about kama mtu amepiga mtu ngeta akakuja akatoa hiyo as a tithe, utajua imetoka wapi? Unajua wewe mwenyewe unajua hii pesa imetoka wapi? Unaona? Like now, in the case of head of state, the difference is that he's the father of the nation. Yeah. And if, let's say, like, he's showing that kind of money or is giving that kind of the money, and maybe the people on the ground are feeling otherwise, then now it raises questions, you know. So if he could have given it out secretly, nobody would have known that the president has given around 5 million. But you know, something also with the politicians is by doing that, you are trying to gain that political mileage and also trying to
popularity,
buy people to come on your side.
Yeah.
Okay, that's something that I was talking about. Anyway, Marco Bura, I was just saying thank you so much, and I see Mato is asking for link, and maybe you can share with him. If you can talk, we can continue. That is okay. But to me, I have to head somewhere and complete a certain matter, do a certain matter here, and you know.
Okay, let me just give Mato dakika kidogo akuje pia tupe maoni yake kabla tufunge. Pia yeye akuja tuambie anaonaje hii mambo ya the president kupeana 5 million every Sunday. And there's a more understanding Jan's his salary is up to 1.5, I mean 1.45. And you know, how is he able to afford 5 million every Sunday?
Remember, president has businesses. That is something that you have to also to remember. And that's why, like, you know, the church has allowed this one to happen. Because for the last 2 years, president has been giving money. And they've been accepting. Why now? What is the change? Yeah. And if they could have come out and tell us, okay, we used to take and this is what is happening. That is one. Secondly, what I agree with them is that when you're going to give that tithe, let it be secret. Wewe enda pale uiweke kwa hiyo mfuko ya offering, then mambo iko sawa. Usiweke public, kwa sababu saa zile unakuja kuiweka public ni kwamba kulingana na venye mambo iko ni kwamba ni kama another way of enticing people to campaign. Yep. So that is what I think.
Okay, Mato anasema umgoje, usiende kwanza, ungoje kidogo akuje.
Yeah, namsubiri kwa sababu unapata kuwa is not only the president who gives this money. There are so many politicians who are giving this money. Yeah. So if all the money that are being donated, they should make it very clear, the churches, that all the money that are being given out in churches should be rejected. Yeah. Should be including for president, including for governor, MCA, deputy president, everybody who's giving to the church, let them give it secretly. Yeah. Hiyo ndio mimi what I think could work, because if we say that is only for president, then
shouldn't be selective. Politicians.
Yeah, it should be across board to all politicians, and they should make it very clear that from today we are not getting any money from politician, be it presidency, deputy president, governor, or anybody from government official. I mean, government official, but if you have to give, then let it be so secret that nobody knows. And when you're coming to give your money, you don't do your politics. Come as any other
If you remember what
a Kenyan citizen who came to worship. And this idea also that both politicians in one Sunday, you want to cover like 10 churches in a, it doesn't also make sense.
Yeah, not so long ago, if you can remember, when the former president joined President Ruto and Matoma candidates, I've shared the link. It is there. I've shared it actually twice. It's just you can't see it. I've shared it twice. Yeah. So if you remember what the former president Uhuru Kenyatta did in that function where they both attended with the president, deputy president, the two deputy presidents, and when he had to give his something, he said that hata mimi niko na kitu hapa lakini sitatangaza, iko kwa bahasha, nitapeana huko. That was a good thing. Yeah. And I think that is how things should go.
Yeah.
That is my take.
Siwezi sema kwa sababu mtu asikataze. President can give out the money the way he wants, because nobody can come and say that this money that the president is giving. Yes, Mr. Mato.
Hey, vipi wadau?
Tuko sawa?
It's been a long time. I'm sorry. Nimekuwa in and up about.
Ni kama ulienda kutafuta Dani.
Huyu ni mtu wa Dani.
Wewe ulifika airport. Sisi unajua wa Kenya huku tumeshindwa kufika hata hii airport. Tunaambiwa tunateta lakini hatujaifika airport.
Na hii ni airport gani iko na mahema? Mimi napitianga huko sijaiona hema.
Bibi dono that airport bwana.
Ama sisi wengine tunapitianga huko juu, tunaangushwa tu Kenya na hatuoni hiyo hema yenye tunaambiwa. I mean, come on guys, this is becoming just nonsensical. Yani mali imefika. And now nikiwaambia niko na kauhondo mahali. Do you guys understand hii pesa mnasema kwa nini inarudishwa?
We don't understand.
It's because MIC is on it.
Yeah.
MI6, they've already started a case on it. Wash. Watu wa Kilimani na Kileleshwa, haya anzeni kuhama. You know that's money laundering. And MI6 have already taken the case. Next, the FBI will also get in it. That's why these guys are returning this money. If you guys don't know, there's a dossier with the MI6 that now they're actually investigating that money that goes to churches and the wash money from Kilimani and this Sudan kind of things. You remember that case of Joey and Monica?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that wash is actually landing in the UK and even in the US. So the guys are saizi wameachwa bila nguo, wameanikwa. So MI6 is actually investigating that money, where it comes from. This 5 million that you guys are talking about, and we know the salary, the guys that are use the church for money laundering and other places like the UAE, Sudan, these are the culprits. So the international world, na MI6 ikikuingilia, my friend, anza kukimbia. FBI ikikuingilia, my friend, anza kukimbia. You go ask Akasha brothers where they are and how they ended up in New York na hata hawakuwa na visa. Utatengenezewa visa yako specifically, yako tu ya diplomat ya kuingia kule unaenda kulala na kule unaenda kufungiwa. So yes, people are starting to be afraid. Huh?
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Yeah, people are starting to get afraid of this money of wash. And that's why we've always spoken about this Kilimani area and why there's also vitu mingi zinaendeleanga huko in the church. So when MI6 wameingilia kitu, they're investigating it, they know it, na wameanza kuiogopa hiyo pesa because there's no money, kunaga sadaka inapelekagwa pale, ile inakuaga wash. Ni pesa yenye imetolewa kwa gava ndio wanaenda kuingiza kwa system. And that is why you see people like Ole Sapitu alikula pesa mingi sana ati hata sasa yeye anarudisha pesa. Come on guys, we see these things that tunazijua. Mi nimewaibia siri. MI6 is on top of Ruto. He's on top of the people in government that are used to taking money and going to wash it and put it in the system through backgrounds. I'm telling you, it's not going to be business as usual. And the problem is, mwenye alikuwa anawatetea ametoka. Huyu mwenye ameingia huyu wa FBI huyo, he doesn't care. Huyu alituita kwanza shithole countries. So the defense forces, shauri yenyu, mutakulwa kukulwa, mutasema kule mnatoa hiyo pesa na mshahara yenyu inafanya aje? Kuna watu wanajua kufanya hesabu. Bas, that's all I wanted to say. I have to go back to work, lakini wasikiza.
Maybe, yeah, because like, why should they should made it possible that all politicians, they're not only rejecting the one from the head of state. Okay, we've lost Mato. That is not our view. That is his view. That is not the view of the channel and the guest. That is his own view, and we put a disclaimer on that. So that is one thing there. So what we are saying, Makobura, is now, when it comes to now, we want to control, and we know this is something that is affecting the country. We do not want this money, despite the fact that maybe they do not know where that money comes from. But it has to be everybody, that even if a politicians give 20,000 somewhere, it has to be returned, or that donation must be rejected. Yeah, that is something that has to be that's something that has to be. Or what do you think?
Yeah, I also agree with that, and I've always maintained that whatever the politicians do, it should not be targeted to very few. If we are rejecting money, let us reject from all politicians, be it MCA, be it member of parliament, be it senator, be it governor, be it president or cabinet secretary, or any other government official. If we have, an issue with this money, if we feel that these are money which have been gotten in unclear circumstances, let us stand firm and say no to all people who are coming with this money. Let us not be selective to a point that we are only rejecting from the president and we're not rejecting from the governor and all these other people. So that is my take on that. And again, we need to be very mindful as we also engage both the religious, the politicians, the congregants, and the people of Kenya. Because whenever you see Kenyans starting to have other thoughts, they understand this country. We are Kenyans. We belong here. We know the economic status of our country. We know where we are. We know the debts that we have as a country. And, we need to see things which are reflective, of the status of our country. Let us not have leaders who are, lavishly, buying very lavish, posh things vis-a-vis the citizens of the Republic of Kenya. They're having a tough life. They cannot even afford their basic needs. And, whenever we see such kind of things, a president giving 5 million and some people are dying, some people cannot afford basic needs, we need to question. So first, they need to ensure that
go ahead.
they help the people of Kenya to also have that state or environment of doing business so that they can also give. It is not fair that only the political class are the ones who you are giving. That means that the only people who are enjoying life in the republic, that the only people who have the capacity to do other businesses which are profitable, to them. But the people of Kenya cannot even afford to run businesses because the environment for running the business is not fair. How comes they're getting this huge, massive profit?
Yeah.
And they're Kenyans, who are trying to even start small businesses, they are unable. So these are the questions that we are asking ourselves if we see such kind of acts.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Makobura, because as in a country that if only the political class can thrive, but the citizen are not thriving, that is not a balanced country. And that's why you see majority of times, like so many people are not in agreement with the president and with his government. It's not. I don't think like people are not in agreement because they don't like the president, but people are in their disagreement. Maybe there are things that they feel are not working the same way. They they, f- they we the same they feel it should work. And when you see like the CS for mining, Ali Hassan Joe, is even threatening the Kenyan population. There's one thing that usually happens if you're in a business. There's what we call communication. Communication can come in various ways. One, you can communicate by keeping quiet. If you don't utter anything, that also, as a communication expert, you will know that there's something that is happening that I should think of. Maybe somebody is trying to communicate something. That is one. Secondly, communication can also be when we communicate and exchange words. We're having this conversation. I don't agree with you. I don't care. So that one also is communication. And another way of communication is that people sometimes communication through rebelling. Yeah, you have to know why are they rebelling. Then if they rebel, what can I do? But what happens with our political class when Laban? Let me see what Laban is. Laban is saying. Let me see. What did Laban say? Uh,
Joe is talking the truth, not threatening. But I want to disagree with my good friend.
I tend to disagree with Laban. Laban, the
I
reason
also
why
disagree with him.
no, I disagree with him in a very
Yeah.
respectful way because one, remember when it comes to technology, we are talking about technology, this era and technology. People use technology for different reasons. Yeah. And right now, as we speak, Joe is not a politician. Yeah. Joe is a public service officer. Yeah. Joe is public service officer. So, as a public servant, that was not the best way in which you can address the people that you serve. Yeah. There's a better language, or maybe the choice of words that he used were not matching his status as the CS for mining. If you can tell Kenyans that we are coming for you, to me, I feel that might be a threat. That's the reason why I tend to disagree, Mr. Laban.
Yeah, I also disagree with him because, leaders are servants of the people. We are the people who are paying these politicians or the leaders. And the constitution is very clear that the Article 1, the people should have a say on everything that is being made by the government. And again, there's no any rule or any laws which are supposed to be made by the government without the authorization of the people who are the subjects. It is so unfair that a leader, someone who has been given the opportunity by the citizens of the Republic of Kenya, is coming, to speak with arrogance to the citizens. That shows disrespect. And those are the reasons why the Gen Zs went for demonstration. They were very clear that any leader who is communicating, let them do it with respect. Let them remember that the people, because of the people, they are enjoying those positions of power. Because of people, the Kenyan citizens, they have the opportunity to serve and to earn salary. And it is the people who are paying them the salary that they earn. It is so unfair for an individual cabinet secretary to speak directly to the citizens of the Republic of Kenya in that manner. And I disagree with him. You are muted.
Why also we disagree with Joe. Joe was one of the members of the ODM, if to say, who were very, very vocal in criticizing the government. Yeah. Yeah. And now what has really changed? That now when he's in government, he would go that way, But to me, what I think as an expert, as an expert, because he was an expert, I think he could have found a better way of communicating that people would understand. Yeah. Maybe to him, he might have done it in a way that he feels was the right thing to do, but how he spoke was not welcomed. Remember, when you come to the internet, how many people are employed that in this social media platform who are feeding their family on the social media? None of them are not just sitting there and using government Wi-Fi the way he has said. That's some of the things that he has said, Yeah. And to me, as a leader, with all due respect, with the status of him, yeah, yeah. I say that Laban anasema nini? The people of Kenya are not angels. Laban leo utaniweza. Kwani ni wa nini? Mr. Lab. But I think at some point, like the leaders need to find a way of communicating, and to people will criticize you, and once you are criticized, you have to have that thick skin, especially when you are holding that public offices. You will be criticized, so you have to be prepared for criticism, and how do you walk away from those, or how do you respond to those, how you're being criticized, those are normal, and and how I wish that he could have just kept quiet, because once you bring the war on the internet, it becomes so messy, so messy, so messy and unnecessary. Some of the things that are quite much unnecessary. Makobura, what do you have to say? Mr. Laban ako wapi? Laban leo. The people of Kenya are glorifying at the people of Kenya, you are glorifying, attacked Joho. Yes, they attacked the Honorable Joho because he attacked them. you know. Yeah, and people even are asking
Yeah,
apologize. Yeah.
yeah, I'm still disagreeing with the Laban. A leader has to respect the people. A leader has to understand the people. A leader, it is a privilege that they're serving there, so they need to create opportunities, or they need to ensure that the problems the people are going through, they try find solutions. Up to this point where we are, there's no any solution that they've brought on board.
Yeah.
And so the people of Kenya are still suffering. And that out of that suffering that the people are going through, the people have gotten to a point where they can't just keep quiet, but they have to stand and to remind the government of their role. It is so unfortunate that the people reminded them, instead of actioning with some respect, they have decided to come out and respond in a very disrespectful manner, in a manner that is not befitting their status and the positions that they hold.
Now, and this is the something from Ruben Kagame. He was a presidential aspirant. Joe needs to apologize to Kenyans or resign from threatening to come for those who use social media to ask public participation, accountability, leadership, values in government. He seems to support abduction, Kagame remarked. That's a quote from the former presidential aspirant in the last general election, Kagame. That's what he said. These people are defending this. these people you are defending have different position. Otherwise, they are better of
No
the
one
help.
is defending. For your information, Laban, no one is defending any political or politician. We are not defending anyone. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Yeah, so Laban, no one is really defending any politician here, but what we are saying is that leaders need to be, they need to own up. It is good for someone to say they've wronged the people. It is good for someone to come out and say sorry when they've messed up. And that is what leadership is all about. So from where I sit, I also support what Kagame was saying, that Joe and anyone who has spoken to the people of Kenya in a manner that is not befitting their status, they should come out and apologize. Internet has made the people of Kenya regain part of democracy that we claim to be enjoying. And through internet, we fought so many battles in these countries, including, reminding the president that he has a role. And that was planned through internet and social media. So the power of internet and social media also need to be understood. And any leader who's trying to come up and tell us anything negative, we shall not agree with them.
Okay, Laban, we are not blaming Honorable Joe for Limuru fracas now. We are just talking about the remarks that Joe made when President was having the development tour at the coast, to be specific in Taita Taveta. So that is what we are commenting about, And as a leader, because right now, let's say for instance, the way the president is getting hit from everywhere, so it requires how how he will be collected and the choice of words he will be using, especially when everybody is criticizing him. Yeah, because that also can be part um of what downfall, whereby somebody criticize you to then you make a mistake, then they capitalize on that mistake, and that is now what they focus on, despite the good things that you've done, yeah. And now, even if you come to the CS for mining Joho, people are now playing even those videos that the way he used to talk bad about the president, you know and is now bringing it into another perspective. You know how it has ended, and internet war is it's not one of the best. Yeah, it's not one of the best. I feel it's not one of the best. So I think the CS should just apologize, and asema vitu ziendelee, aseme Wakenya, mimi niliwakosea, lakini poleni, aende kuchapa kazi. That is what is there, Mr. Laban. Laban, leo hatutakubaliana na wewe. Leo hapana. Leo today we are not agreeing with you. I think like as a leader, because you're leading so many people, it's not only leading Kenyans, like there are some other people outside the country are looking and comparing your leadership. How do you communicate to the people of Kenya or any other people? Because like if you say you threaten that you're coming for them, that is now you're talking about the freedom of speech is being interfered with. That is not there. So Laban, leo eh, Brother Ben, Ruto will be around beyond 20, despite what we are seeing now. Yes, it's okay. Because, one thing with politics is about numbers and about election. He will win. If he wins 2027, it's okay. He will still be the president of Kenya, but he will still people will still criticize him, you know. people will still criticize him. I can remember how people used to criticize Uhuru Kenyatta, how Uhuru Kenyatta is not a good leader. But today people are saying, oh, we wish Uhuru Kenyatta was the president, you know. And even if he continues until 2027, then he leaves the office, somebody comes in, people will say, I wish that President Ruto could have been here to run this country. So it depends who is going to succeed him and how he's going to lead. Yeah, so I don't think we can and Laban, something that also we have to agree on. Even if today you could offer you the best of the best, I tell you, nobody is going to support you 100%. There's somebody who's not going to agree with you and will say what you're doing is you're not doing well. So we have to agree on those who are not going to support you, whether you do good or bad, whether you do what, those who are not going to agree with you. And I tell you, even today, if the president, there are people who do not agree with the president 100%, but there are also people who agree with him, yeah, with what president is doing. So would we blame those who are supporting the president? Will we blame those who are not supporting the president? There are those who are supporting the ideology and the vision of the president 100%. And there are those who, even if the president will do good or do what they feel is good for best for the country, the people who are going to say that the president is not doing anything. So that's the society where we are in. But when you are in that situation whereby people do not agree with you, one thing that you have to do, you have to prove them wrong. How do you prove them wrong? You prove them wrong by doing what is right and making sure that the people that you serve are really feeling those services. All right. Niaje, Mr. Laban. Makobura, thank you so much. Maybe let me leave you so you can close down the studio. But tomorrow we will be discussing. This is something that we will be discussing. The reason why we fail, or the reason why I feel maybe for the 2027, Laban kesho ukuje. I don't think like the president might win based on the now. Come, let us discuss that and ukuje utuambie ni the reason why you feel he will win. Wapi Laban ametoroka?
I think, yeah, we should give him a chance to also come clarify what he's trying to talk about. I think that would give him a chance.
The political alignment is complete, time will tell. Okay, kesho kuja tutakwambia with all those political alignment, the reason why, to me, I would feel if the president doesn't change some of his policies, that based on how things are, he might find it very hard to win, or he will get stiff competition towards 2027.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay, Laban, thank you so much for being with us for all this hour. We really, really appreciate you for your support. Your support has been so big to us. Douglas, anyway, you are embody.
Douglas,
Douglas, where have you been, my friend? We've not been seeing you for a while now. Where have you been? I hope everything is okay.
Laban is confirming that he'll be available
tomorrow. Yeah, I will be, Laban, tomorrow we will start a bit early. I don't know how your work schedule is. We might be starting from around 7 to around 8 there for 1 hour. So hopefully you will find time to be with us, and we will appreciate. I don't know how your time schedule will be, or if not, we can have a second session that will come at 10. Douglas, how are you, my brother? Umepotea sana. Where have you been? Oh, Douglas is not commenting. Atuambie ako wapi. No. Douglas. Douglas, sasa wewe. No.
Douglas ametushikia.
Douglas ametushikia hii kwa Taifa Care. Confirm. Thank you so much. Douglas, I think okay, asante sana brother. We are not kind of we in support of the Taifa Care, but like there are some nitty-gritties that we need to we are still just asking questions as Kenyans. If we can get answers, that is one of the good ideas. And if I don't know whether yesterday you got a chance, we talked about um, the health insurance coverage, um, especially in regard to health sector in Kenya. And one of the things that I said, it will take time for for the health sector to work the way it should be efficiently, like so that those services can be given, because the health sector
You're muted.
it ranges even to the service providers themselves. So it is still, I don't think we can reach a point whereby we will have a situation whereby if people are not complaining about Taifa Care, they're complaining about the doctors. If not the doctors, they're complaining about the medication. Where we can have a system whereby every department units or departmental units are working, from Taifa Care to service providers, even to the people who are receiving the services. It still have a long way to go.
Ruto is transforming Kenya. That is from Laban. You're muted.
That's why I was telling you, there are people who will support the president. There are those who feel that president is not doing anything. So that's the society where we are right now.
Okay, Douglas is saying anywhere was in day shift, but will be in Kenya January. Douglas, umekaribishwa. Hopefully, if you come to Kenya, you pass by and say hi to us. Those resisting are losing the point. That is from Laban Misiani. Laban, kuna mtu anapinga mambo ya serikali. Sisi wote tunasema mambo iko sawa.
Yeah, ni kuna tu maswali tudogodogo ambao labda unajua the main reason why tuko hapa sisi tunazungumzia yale watu ambao wananchi wanasema wakia pale ground, ndio tunajaribu kuja to discuss. Yeah, atupingi, lakini kuna maswali tudogo ambao sisi tunauliza. Sana sana mimi swali ambao mimi nimekuwa bado nataka jibu, labda Laban kama unaweza niuliza mambo ya affordable housing, which kwangu mimi nasema ni mradi mzuri sana kwa nchi, lakini kuna maswali tu chache tu, labda kama naweza pata jibu naweza furahia, kwa sababu one of the things about affordable housing is, one, these houses are being built on the public land, and everybody is deducted towards the affordable
realization of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the same houses are being sold at a market price. Yeah. So my question is, if you are done with paying the house and you own it, will you get a security, which is your title deed? Because you are paying is ile ya kwa buying. Industrialization is creating employment. Yes, in the process of creating employment, because one of the things that president has always said that the affordable housing is creating employment. Yes, which we don't deny, because there are Kenyans who are working on those sites, from plumbers to people who are doing welding to people who are in the construction. At least at the end of the day, they have something to take home. What about that person who is buying this land or the house to be his? Will he get the certificate either of lease to say that this is your property, now you own it? So in the process that even if you want to secure a loan somewhere, you can use it to secure a loan to facilitate some of your projects. That is my question. Secondly, it is on the public land. Can you be given a title on the public land which belongs to the public? That's also my question. So those are some of the things that we are asking. But the general idea is a good idea, and nobody's opposed to that. That's only those few questions. Land fragmentation is causing food shortage. I'm not distorting the facts, Mr. Douglas. One of the things that I'm asking, this is a public land, is a land that is owned by the government. First, you are deducted on your payslip. You are deducted towards facilitation of building the house. Yeah, that is there. Then you'll be paying. Then again, if you want to get the same house, there's a certain amount of money you have to pay. So, which means you're paying it twice. Let's say, for instance, you're being deducted the money that is going towards that affordable housing. Then you decide when the houses are being sold at the market price, let's say like 2 million, you buy the house at 2 million. Will you still be paying the money? You will be still being deducted that money.
Affordable housing is a good idea. I think what we should do is we should invite our good friends, Mr. Douglas and Laban, so that we can have this discussion together with them. They give their opinion, and we give them a chance to also give their opinion on that. Maybe they can educate us on this. We are not saying that tunajua kila kitu, sisi tunapeana tu maoni yetu, na wao pia hapa tunasema ni the opinion counts.
So the public land, these are land that are owned by the government. They when especially when you get your title, I don't know whether you have a background, especially when it comes to things to do with the title or even owning a land. If you do not, then
You're muted.
Okay, I can tell you or discuss about the titles that in the country we have, the type of titles that we have in Kenya, then how they are, and the land, how it should be. Everything to do with the lands.
Okay, yeah, so that is in order. And to everyone who joined, I want to just remind you that this is Brother Benson Media. And here we say that your opinion counts. If you're new, we are simply asking you to kindly like and subscribe to the channel, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us, and we will really, really appreciate.
So this is Laban is asking, when it was a public, did you own it? No. A public land is land that is either owned by the government themselves. Yeah, is a land that is not owned by any individual. It's for public. And most of the times, the public lands might be used for building things to do with market, you know, and they are mostly used for community where it can serve community. Either they can build government hospital, government building for services that are being offered by the government. But when you come to yourself, when you have a title for your own, yeah, you will have what we call the absolute title. Yeah. And you find most of the time when you have a title that is absolute, Mr. Laban, and the government has a project, especially the government wants to construct a road that passes through your land. Yeah. For them to get that land, they will do what we call evaluation and know the value of that particular plot at that particular moment. We call it the open market value of that plot. Then they will refund you the money. If they don't refund you the money, they will find alternative land for you. Yeah. So when it comes to what to do with the public land, which means the government have the ownership of it. Yeah. They need not to consult, because that is a public land. So what is he saying? When you own a house, you are given ownership certificate, not a title deed. The title deed is what is giving you the ownership. The title deed is the ownership. Yeah, so you own it. That is what to prove to the government or to prove to anybody that it belongs to you. That gives you ownership. Once you do not have that title deed, it doesn't belong to you. That's why when you go to the land registry, you do what we call official search on that particular plot. It will give you the title, the owner of the land. On the top, the owner, your name will be there. Then they will write the nature of the title. So the title deed gives you the ownership. Yeah, which one? So suppose in Baringo, where I come from, through public participation, we agreed to build affordable housing. Who is objecting that? So when you come to Baringo and you agree to build the affordable housing, that's okay. But now, if it is a public, which means you should not own it, what usually happens when it comes to affordable housing, this is what I think, the government can use it to generate money. How do government generate money? The government will generate money by renting it. And when they are renting, you have to look at the classification of people. They would say, they would put a mark on who should be living there. Those who might not have, those who are having certain amount of, let's say, what the money that you get on a yearly basis, that's why now you can go to affordable housing. You cannot tell me that maybe if you're building affordable housing, then you bring the minister or a CS for roads to stay in affordable housing, yet his salary can provide him with a very good house somewhere. So let's talk of Mama Mboga, for instance, what the president was talking about during his campaign. They can build these houses, then say that, okay, because Mama Mbogas, they need to stay in these houses. And what amount of money should they pay? If maybe the house was paying like, the ordinary house can pay like, good housing should pay like around 10,000. But because this is affordable, that is provided by the government, they should pay government even like 5,000 less the actual amount of the rent or the actual market value of the rental around that area. No, I don't know the land history in Eritrea, but each and every country has their land history based on when they found their independence. And that's why, especially, each and every country have different types of land policy. Like us, I can give you a typical example in Kenya. One of the policies of the lands in Kenya, the ancestral land, there's the land that is called ancestral. When you look at these titles of ancestral land, they will tell you the nature of the title is absolute. These are absolute titles. So which means these are lands that you inherited from your forefathers. And these lands, you have the authority is on you. The government cannot just come and take absolute title from you. They have to negotiate, or if they have to relocate you, they will have to give you an option. Then in the lands that belong to the government, especially they have what we call the leasehold. Yeah, these are lands that the government is leasing for you for a certain period of time, where you pay the ground rent or you pay the lease. You pay the lease for a particular period of years. Then when that year lapses, you can renew it, especially when you go to the municipalities. Yeah. If you're very careful, when you go to the municipality, most of the maps for the municipality, they are written in blocks. You will find that, for example, you go to Kisumu block 1, 2, 3, Kisumu block, they are in blocks. But now when you come to the plot that we have at home, you will find now even the naming change. They will be named per location or of area, the name of that particular area. For example, if you're coming like in Kisumu, you may find that Kisumu Dago at this, Kisumu Kogony at this, based on it is Kisumu but is in Kogony area, as compared to a plot that is within the municipality. So the Kogony one is absolute, the one in the municipality is leasehold.
You are muted.
Kesho tutakutana na Douglas na nini tuongee hii maneno.
Yes, yes. I think that
Okay.
will be.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you to everyone who joined. This is for the Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. We are now closing, and we are very, very much grateful to those of you who stood with us, who are with us until this time. Tunasema ni asante sana kwa kukuwa nasi na kutusaidia na kutoa maoni zetu, sana sana Laban na Douglas. Thank you for consistently engaging us at the comment section. The issue of housing and the opinions that you've brought forth, we are going to have a discussion. Maybe we'll create time and have this discussion together with you, Laban. I hope you've confirmed you'll join us tomorrow. And hopefully Douglas pia atakuwa, so that we can talk about this issue of housing in a manner that would make the people of Kenya to understand. Yeah, so tutakuwa tunatoa maoni zetu kesho, na we welcome you to join us tomorrow as we'll be having this conversation. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all the best in whatever you are all doing, wherever you are. Sisi hapa tuko salama. This is the Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're new, we request you to kindly like and subscribe to the channel, and we will really appreciate. Allow me to take this opportunity to wish you a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you are. Thank you so much for being with us, and may God bless you. Asante sana. Mungu awabariki.